says, is Hollywood knowingly letting Zegler sabotage herself in a humiliation ritual, letting her spiral out of control, crash into bottoming out her almost non-existent career just to come back as a forced superstar? I think no one's forcing her to do anything. I think she just got a big mouth and she thought she was untouchable because her whole life she's probably, because she's not, everyone says, but she's a decent looking chick and she's petite. She's had lots of male attention her whole life. She comes off as a mean girl bitch. I saw that when she was going after Gina Carano. Like, she has had a life
her folks
of nothing
are pretty
but
well
praise.
off too. I was going to say, from what I know, her folks are pretty well off. So it's not like she's ever, you know.
She's a mean girl.
Yeah, she's never been hungry. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So she thought she could just run her mouth all the time and everyone would just have her back like they did in high school, like they did in her theater career. And that's not how it worked out. Instead, she pissed off almost probably the entire nation, I think, in some fashion.
And what people still need to realize, man, is Disney has a whole farm of these kind of chicks, man. Like, they'll get rid of her and they'll have somebody to replace her by tomorrow. Like, they grow these chicks in their factories. So, I mean, she's a dime a dozen, man. And she thought she was something special and she wasn't.
I like that comment in the chat said she flew too close to the sun. That's a good. She flew too close and she got burned. I got another 20 from Spit on My Dick and Stroke Me Silly for $19.99. Thank you. No comment.
$20 just to get you to say that.
Yeah, well, that's okay for $20.
That's
I'll
enough.
say anything.
That probably just got him off.
Anything? Like absolutely anything?
Oh yeah,
I'm going to read the chat as long as it's not going to get me. As long as it's not going to get me banned.
He's basically Anchorman. Yes. He will say whatever you put in front of him. Go for yourself, San Diego.
Oh no,
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be sitting there waiting
me,
for the
Prince.
kiss.
Oh
What the fuck
no,
is that?
he'd go in for the kiss. That's right.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy.
The
Like,
Fosters
he's
do.
going to force his way onto you, Kevin Spacey.
Oh, and by the way, in the movie,
And
when the or not the prince, when the bandit leader kisses her to wake her up, he doesn't even kiss her on the lips. He kisses her on the chin.
Yeah, I saw that.
I heard about that.
I
They
saw
tried to
that.
make it so that it's like
Well, it does.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm not wrong, because like, can you tell that's part of the reshoots? Because I'm assuming that was one of the major bits. Was that?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no, absolutely it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
there wasn't going to be a love story at all.
No,
I thought
yeah,
it was
initially.
a consent issue.
In one of the songs, I guess he gives her consent. That's what Steph was saying. Or she gives him consent, I mean. But yeah.
Kinda, not really. I mean, dude, that love story was so tacked on. You could tell it wasn't part of the original story.
But dude, like, this is what they were doing instead of like promoting Snow White the other day. They had these posters out online. Like, this
yeah,
fucking-
you know what? That's smart, man, because that
this
movie's
movie's gonna make so
movie's
much
actually going to
bank.
make money.
I love
Yeah.
Stitch. He's so cute.
Yeah,
Look at him.
that movie's going to make a boatload of cash.
It's going to make a lot of money.
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch.
It's actually kind of adorable.
It's a cute movie. It's okay. It's for
It's
kids.
E.T.
Like,
with teeth.
I
Is
know
what
like,
everybody
yeah,
thought
exactly.
Gremlins was gonna be.
Here you go,
I
Verbal.
think it's a cute movie.
Love it.
Yeah, this movie. So, do we have any idea what the box office for the international?
I
Not
think
yet.
altogether they're
Not yet.
hoping it's gonna hit 100 for the international, but I doubt it. That means they'd have to do like 60 million outside the US. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think this is like Mufasa or Little Mermaid where it has any kind of. And
Do
even
we have
Little
any-
Mermaid did horrible.
It
Outside
has
the
it
US.
has no
Having a look.
legs, man. I mean, they're
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Mermaid did poorly.
Gal Gadot is
internationally.
basically the only thing this movie has going for it. Is she a big enough star? That's the question. And that's the thing, is she really hasn't been in any other successful films.
But yeah, and the
outside of
problem
Wonder
is though
Woman.
she was terrible in that movie.
That's what everybody's
So
saying. too,
Box
on top
Office
of it.
Mojo is only reporting 16 million domestic. That's it. They're not.
You know what Gal Gadot
Wow.
looked like in that movie? She looked like a drag queen the whole
Which
time.
movie?
Yeah.
In
In
Snow
Snow
White.
White.
Oh, okay.
Gal
I've
Gadot
seen
looked
the
like
clip.
looked
She
like
comes
a
off
drag queen.
She comes off very stiff and not very Well,
But
she's not a very
not
good
only that,
actress to begin
her
with.
acting is like completely over the top. She's completely overacting on purpose because English isn't her first language, so she has to kind of, I don't know, project. But
Kal-El, stop.
she's really
Whatever
bad.
she says in that movie.
Kal-El.
She's so bad in Justice League. Yeah, it's so bad, dude.
No, she's a horrible actress, but she's good to look at. I get it. But
Yeah, she's very
So
attractive.
they're trying to use Mufasa as an example of it opening to 35 million and then sprinting to 700 million.
where? In
apparently
what
what-
world, though? Like, I mean,
That-
I'm not saying it's
they're trying to-
impossible,
Well,
but
Hollywood Reporter's trying to use that as a justification.
the
But I'm
difference.
No,
I
they're
can't get
full of
any.
shit.
I can't get any like international numbers or anything. I'm looking.
Screw
I
Hollywood
remember-
Reporter. I hate that place because that's the only website for some reason. If you use any footage from their YouTube channel, they copyright claim you.
The other thing that Mufasa had
Assholes.
going for it last Christmas, I remember saying this, was that it
Boys.
was the only movie. Well, not so much that, but it was one of the only movies out that like grandma could go see with everybody, right? Like, because Sonic and some of the other options are not the type of movie that most grandmas are going to know, right? Like, but you can go, oh, remember The Lion King? Well, you can go watch this, and
Well,
and
this
and it
movie
did
is-
well over Christmas, but like, yeah.
But this movie is heavily geared towards women and girls.
Oh yeah, but this is not going to pull in the Barbie crowd. There's nothing,
No.
nothing here that is bringing in anything. Like, it's a joke, it's a meme,
Yeah.
it's basically like it's dead after this weekend. There's no legs for this film.
I
And
think.
by the way, those dwarves were nightmare fuel, man. Like I couldn't
Yeah, they
even-
looked bad.
I couldn't even look at the screen when they were on.
They reminded me of the Garbage Pail Kids from the old Garbage Pail Kids.
Pretty
movie.
much, actually, Tom. Pretty much.
They would have been better off having little people in costumes and doing it with like that kind of shit. I bet.
And you know what?
That's
It
what
would
they
have been
should have
cheaper.
done.
It would have
Yeah.
been cheaper if they did that.
You know, it's crazy to think that even with a Thursday in there, it's made 16 million and it's been at 4,200 venues, like 4,200 theaters. Like
Well,
that's
Disney does that
huge.
with all their movies. They force you to.
Well,
Majority of the screens got to go to Disney's movie.
and nothing has been in their favor at the box office this year. We have not had a real solid hit yet. Every weekend has been worse than the last. Like, where on average the box office should be over $100 million for all the movies combined. The last few weeks it's been under 50 in most cases. They have not had a decent movie come out yet this year to do anything. And there's not much coming up here. I don't think Snow White is going to benefit from the lack of competition like Mufasa did, is what I'm trying to say, though, because there's nothing going for this movie at all. And
Most
you got
most estimates have Snow White grossing about 400 to 500 million in the US, over 100 million globally. So they're predicting another 50 to 60 million internationally in its opening weekend. Nowhere near the 375 million made during Beauty and the Beast opening weekend, nor the 270 million budget. So that's what they're reporting the budget,
Yeah.
but not a full flop. But they can't get past it.
Does anybody know how well Novocaine is doing? Because I wonder if that's going to bump up, and that would
That's-
really be bad if that thing comes up and beats that this weekend.
No, it's not. man.
Novocaine?
Novocaine only
yeah.
made 8 million last
I keep
week.
forgetting that
Yeah,
exists.
but it might. It's been getting word of mouth. That's why I was wondering that's why I was asking. Has anybody heard how it's been doing?
Oh, we
'Cause
can
I'm
see.
looking at-
Hold on.
I was gonna say I'm looking at the dailies here. I'm trying to find it. Okay, so we got. Oh yeah, it's not keeping up. So never mind. Yeah,
It's the
not even
closest I
close.
can get to international
What's Black
numbers.
Bag?
Novocaine even fell
Black
off.
Bag
like
is the
fucking-
Michael Fassbender movie, the spy
Yeah.
movie
Yeah, there ain't shit out. And
with
the-
Kate Blanchett.
There
I
ain't
think.
shit coming out either.
Is that the Pierce Brosnan thing I keep seeing?
I don't. Is he in it?
There's some old James Bond.
Maybe.
I know it's Michael Fassbender, Kate Blanchett, and I can't remember who else is in it.
Magneto?
Yeah,
Oh.
It actually
I
looks
didn't even
pretty
know
good.
this-
It looks pretty
yeah, I
good.
didn't even know this existed. Captain America, of course, still
hanging in there.
just hanging in there, pulling in 4.3 million over 3
I
days.
can't believe it made over $1 million on Friday.
Okay, the thing that surprises me about that is I thought for sure Disney would have already pulled it and put it on Disney Plus already.
Did you hear that somebody accidentally dropped it on Hulu for like a couple hours or for like almost a whole day?
Really?
I
What
realized.
was?
Captain America, and nobody gave a shit.
Oh, really? Oh, that's how there's
Who
already
cares?
a
It
pristine.
leaked out online, and then somebody over in Hulu accidentally posted it. I don't know if it was for like a whole
Somebody
day or
must
for
have
like
grabbed
12
that
hours,
then
but,
because
like,
there's
yeah.
a pristine 4K
yeah.
copy of Brave New World on the internet now.
And then
That's
they
so that's
Wow.
how they got it.
basically nobody really noticed because nobody gave a shit.
Hey,
Like,
look
that
who
was-
else is having a bad weekend. Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Good.
it sucks.
Oof.
That guy.
No, the funny thing is, looking at this, the only one that's probably making any money right now is the Looney Tunes movie in Novocaine. And even Novocaine fell off a cliff here from what I'm looking at. Yeah.
What a
What's
terrible box
Novocaine
office.
about?
That's the one that has Jack Quaid in it. It's kind of like basically Kick-Ass meets John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay.
He plays a guy who can't feel pain for some reason. And
I see. I've seen that commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to get a bump this weekend because of everybody talking about it last week, but even that wasn't enough to get it, obviously, because I'm looking at the numbers here and it did like 500,000.
I actually heard
the
it
other
wasn't
night.
that bad, but
No, I've heard good things about it. Like one of the guys on our Midnight's Edge After Dark show who hates like everything, everybody's picking on him because he's like, that was actually pretty good. He was surprised how good it was. But like the next big thing to come out is Minecraft. And then after that, I don't think there's another big thing until like Lilo and
well, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts and then Lilo and Stitch. Yeah.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo's Trump hater movie is.
Oh, Mickey 17.
Yeah, that's not
that
doing very
thing's
well either.
Not doing very well either. The
Womp,
only one that's
womp.
looking like it's making any money is the Looney Tune one, probably, and that's
The
the
one
that
no one saw, and that's the one that no one's talking about.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
there's a Looney Tunes movie out. I didn't
Okay,
even know
well,
that.
That's
man.
because the company that is distributing it is not Warner Brothers. Everybody's blaming Warner Brothers for this movie, but Ketchup Entertainment bought it, the same company that's hovering over Coyote versus Acme right now. But what I found out is they only bought the U.S. distribution rights, so they probably have made their money back already. So like what Warner did was sold the international rights to this way before Ketchup bought it, and then Ketchup bought it on the U.S. rights, and then Warner's going to release the home video on May 27th. So this movie will probably make some money at the end of the day, but who is going to make money on that? I don't know. But
I
like,
see,
yeah.
see a few people in the chat mentioning Minecraft, and I think people.
Yeah, that comes out April 4th. Yeah.
But like a few people in the chat are saying that it's not going to do well. I think it's going to do, because you got to remember it's kids, man.
No.
Kids are
But
normies.
whose
You don't reckon?
kids? No. Well, that's the thing is I asked my kid, and my kid was one of the kids that grew up with Minecraft, and he was like, this movie. I don't know if kids really care anymore.
Thunderbolts will be
Thunderbolts
one to
won't,
watch. I don't know.
I
would
think
say
Thunderbolts is going to be the dark horse in this. I think it's actually going to do pretty well.
Probably because they didn't spend so much money on it because they didn't have a shit ton of reshoots.
Yeah, they didn't, but I mean, people aren't even showing up for Daredevil.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know, man. I'm really interested in the box office for Thunderbolts just because, I mean, this movie doesn't have, as far as I've seen, anything negative hitting it. And if no one shows up for this, Marvel's
But it
fucked.
also has no buzz. And I've been saying that for a while, dude. The superhero craze is kind of at an end. Like, especially if Superman fails.
Is that
if
true, though?
Superman-
Because Invincible's hitting the Nielsen charts.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but I think
but
Tom's right. as far as-
Invincible
I-
actually does something unique with superheroes.
Invincible's like Gunsmoke was when the Westerns started to die and moved to television, basically. Like, yeah, I'm not saying comic book movies and all they're going to go away, but we're not going to see big ass movies all the time anymore.
No,
like
we're
every
not.
2
In
months.
fact, we're probably going to see a lot less comic book stuff. Not that it's going to go
Yeah.
away, but we're going to see way less.
Especially if Superman and Fantastic Four don't do well. And I
Yeah,
I
those
think
are the
it's
big
because-
ones.
See, and everybody who's saying, oh, that Superman's going to sink Warner Brothers. No, it's not. It's just basically if this movie doesn't make any more money, then Warner Brothers is not going to continue to try and spend a bunch of money on DC.
They're only
films.
going to make Batman movies. That's
Yeah, they're going to make
what they're
basically
gonna do.
Batman.
I
Exactly.
think.
Thank you.
What do you
very
think
much.
about
Yeah.
that Universal rumor that they might swoop in and buy Warner Brothers?
No, everybody
No,
keeps
that's not
saying no.
You don't think that'll happen?
No.
No.
So
Why
here's
not?
the other thing. There's a bunch of doom and gloom. Everybody keeps trying to make Warner Brothers sound like they're in worse shape than they are just because they don't like David Zaslav. He's basically the Trump of Hollywood. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's great or perfect or anything, but he is not nearly as bad, and Warner Brothers is not nearly in as bad a shape as everybody kind of makes it out to be. They were in a hell of a lot worse shape before Zaslav came in.
And you
Because
guys
for
have to remember, man, like John Wick has made a lot of money for them. So
Well, that was
You're supposed
Lionsgate.
to
But
spoilers die in the last movie, and they made so much money they probably like resurrected him
He's
for the
coming
next
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
that's
read.
Lionsgate, but yeah.
John Wick 5 is in the works.
No, but for like Warner Brothers,
Bro's
they keep
not
talking
dead yet.
about the failures like Mickey 17 and a few others, but they never mentioned Dune, Godzilla, Beetlejuice, Barbie, all the successes they've had over the last few years. They've technically had more successes than just about any other studio.
Yeah, Disney.
comparison.
I mean,
Way more than
look,
Disney.
Disney and Warner are going to be okay, but the thing is
Paramount and Universal and the rest, I don't know, but Universal
they're going to make a lot of they're going to make a lot of cuts.
Just going back to
Yeah.
the superhero thing, like the fact that they're cutting back on superhero movies, they think it's because of superhero fatigue. It's what it actually is quality fatigue for the audience.
Actually,
quality-
Rhino, they know damn well what it is, especially the people at Disney. Trust me,
Yeah, well-
my source at the MCU, he's like they know exactly what's going
Yeah.
on. They know it's because of all the bullshit, and that's
But
why
they're still going to go ahead and release Ironheart.
And
Did
that's
you
why
see
they
those
fought-
pictures?
Well, that's why they
Yes.
fired so many activists at the MCU because they knew like they were tanking the company basically. So they know
Crazy.
they do know.
I wonder how the investors feel about that.
Oh, it's a shell game. The investors don't know shit. It's a complete shell game. They're moving figures around, and they're lying. Basically, they're lying to the investors, saying that that things are good.
Yeah.
And
They've been basically hiding how bad the MCU's been doing with Disney Plus, is what they've been doing.
But they can
Which
only
no
hide it
one's
for so
watching.
long. But they can only hide it for so long before the investors stop seeing like a return on the investment.
Well, here's
right?
the thing now is they can't hide the fact that they have
So-
destroyed this franchise worse than they did Star Wars. Because Star
What is-
Wars was already in bad enough shape. When you sit there and look at it and Daredevil and the rest of the shows outside of Loki can't get an audience, and Star Wars is getting more people watching it, like shit like Acolyte, that's
that's crazy.
bad. When,
Chat,
Di-
I
when
didn't bring
Star
up
Wars
Star
is already
Wars.
considered dead. I know you didn't, but I'm just using it as a comparison because they did.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a problem. And you know who's happy about this? The producers. Because they're like, finally, we can get past this bullshit. We can quit spending $200 million on these movies. But the problem is they don't know how to make any other kind of movie. This is what Martin Scorsese and Tarantino have been saying for years. Is you guys forgot, and even Damon and Matt Damon and some of the others now are saying too, is you guys forgot how to make regular movies.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem going forward.
You excited for Ironheart, Tom? Look at this
Fuck
amazing,
no, who has been?
Horrible.
strong woman here.
There's
What is
gotta
the
be
stealing
something
shit?
in here that's keeping this afloat. Like, help me with understand this, Verbal. What is the only thing keeping this thing alive? and they haven't-
Okay, what's keeping this afloat is it's too late to shelve it. That's it. It's too late. They can't shelve
Why?
it. They have to go through
Why?
it
They
because
go
of-
through with Batgirl.
because of contracts, because
Willow
of
and everything.
and especially because of optics. Because
But
of
what
optics,
about Blade
So-
then? Why aren't they going through with Blade?
They never shot it.
because they never shot it.
Yeah.
Well, see, with
Uh,
like, here's the thing: if this was a movie, I could understand that, but this is a TV show for Disney Plus. They could easily sweep this under the rug, just like Willow or anything
You have
else.
to
they have
remember,
before.
man, this was all shot before Trump won, right?
I
this
get
was
it.
Like when everyone thought Kamala was going to win and woke was still going to be a big deal. Now,
The
though,
only
they
thing
feel
that
like
makes
they fucked
sense-
up, and they can't, and because of optics, they can't shelve, a TV show with a black lead, a black female lead at that. You know what I mean? Like it's just they kind of painted.
That's
They
the only thing I understand, but I still say it and just
they
do
painted
it.
themselves into a corner that they can't get out of, basically.
Could it
Man,
be something like
she's
they
really
need,
ugly.
could it be something
Is that
like
even,
they
is
need
that
to
even the same
release it?
actress? 'Cause she looks terrible.
I don't remember her looking as bad as this in
Oh.
Black Panther 2. What
I
happened?
don't either, man. She looks like a man.
Well, wasn't this
I
technically
know,
shot
she does.
before Black
What the
Panther
fuck?
2 as well?
What's that?
I don't know.
Wasn't this technically shot before Black Panther as well? Like, I think they shot it either the same time or this shot.
No,
just
it was
before.
shot. It was shot. Like I think, like during Black Panther.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because this is old.
That's
Like
a
this
long
is the
ass
same
time
thing
ago.
with. Like that's
Yeah.
the same thing I'm learning about with Daredevil's. Like a big portion of what we saw in the first 3 episodes was shit that was shot 2-3 years ago. Because that one actor.
they
was-
salvaged
was-
it as much as they could.
Yeah,
Do they need
Yeah.
to release it so they get some sort of
the opening and Bullseye.
D-
That's it.
do they need to release it so they get some sort of tax write-off with it or something?
Well, that and
Like,
and
is
they-
there-
With the
there an
tax write
element
off,
of-
though, you don't release it.
they've
It
already made pretty
depends.
deals, Rhino. Like they got to put it out. Unfortunately, like
they might see Rhino might be right because they did the same thing with Willow. It did
Willow,
so
that's
piss
what I'm
poor
thinking. Yeah.
that they were able to write it off as a loss or whatever. So I'm not saying they wouldn't do that again. That's not a bad They might do that just to
Well,
save some
here's
money.
something you should know. They wanted to show Agatha as well, and they couldn't do it.
Which is scary because Agatha ended up being, I hate admitting it, but outside of, I think it's like the second or third best as far as ratings go of the shows. If you go and
Oh,
look.
I'll go a step further. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Like Agatha wasn't bad. It was just, you know.
Well,
But-
and it just goes to show who their audience is now. They have completely alienated all of us, and the only one that are left are soccer moms and Karens and shit, right?
And
Like those are the
shippers
only
and-
people.
yeah.
Like I'm not kidding. Like the last few girls I've dated, their favorite films are Marvel films. They're like that's why they're turning because they like how they basically have turned into soap operas now.
So
That's
they
what they're
basically did so they basically did the same thing that they did with the MCU the way it is. They basically made a boy brand a girl brand.
Yep.
Or they're trying
Yeah.
to make a boy brand a girl brand.
And you basically
that-
I don't know
that's-
because you could have male versions of soap operas too. Like
you can. And Star Wars
X-Men
was
was
kind
basically
of
a soap
that. And
opera.
X-Men's a good example of that. Yeah, but
yeah, that's true.
what they've done is they've alienated the male audience. They've alienated the straight audience. So the old female audience that was there, and all that's left is this new fickle audience that's not going to stick around because these audiences are usually just into whatever's trendy at the time. That's the only reason they watch anything. It's like, they don't care about Star Wars or Star Trek or Marvel or any of these other things. It's just the latest thing telling their story that they want to check into. That's it.